The moment the rumor surfaced, it felt unreal, like a whisper carried by the wind that suddenly shook an entire nation. Shohei Ohtani, coming again from Nagoya. Not quietly, not unnoticed, but like a seismic force ready to turn the baseball world upside down. It started with a single line buried deep in the news cycle. A sentence so casual it almost felt dangerous. If Ohtani joins again from Nagoya, the Vantelin Dome could descend into chaos. Chaos. That word didn't even begin to describe what was coming. Before dawn broke, phones were already lighting up. Fans refreshing timelines. Reporters scrambling for confirmation. Security teams suddenly placed on high alert. Because when Shohei Ohtani moves, the world doesn't just watch, it stops. Nagoya Airport became the center of gravity. Not because of planes, not because of weather, but because of anticipation. Crews were reportedly dispatched in advance. Not reporters, not photographers. Crews. As if preparing for something larger than life itself. This wasn't just a player traveling. This was the face of modern baseball. A man who bends history with every swing, every pitch, every calm step forward. And he was on the move again. Inside the Vantelin Dome, silence felt heavier than noise. Groundskeepers worked with unusual focus. Staff whispered to one another, pretending this was just another day. But everyone knew. Something was coming. Fans began arriving hours earlier than usual. Some wore Samurai Japan jerseys faded from years of pride. Others held handmade signs, trembling slightly, as if their hands already knew what their hearts were about to witness. Outside the stadium, the air felt charged. Like the moments before a storm breaks. Vendors set up faster than ever. Police lines adjusted their routes. Even veteran officers exchanged glances. This wasn't routine. Then came the updates. Not official, never official, but close enough to set social media on fire. He's landing. Crew dispatched. Movement confirmed. 3 words were enough to ignite mass hysteria. Inside homes across Japan, televisions were turned on and left on. In bars, conversations died mid-sentence. In schools, students checked phones under desks. In offices, productivity vanished. All eyes turned toward Nagoya. Shohei Ohtani has a strange power. He doesn't shout. He doesn't boast. He simply exists, and the world reorganizes itself around him. For Team Japan, his arrival meant more than talent. It meant belief. It meant gravity. It meant that no matter how fierce the opponent, something unstoppable had just entered the room. Opposing teams felt it too. You could see it in their eyes during warm-ups. A subtle shift. A tightening of jaws. Because when Ohtani joins, strategy changes. Fear creeps in. History suddenly feels closer. Cameras scanned every corridor, every tunnel, every doorway became a possible entrance point for destiny itself. Fans leaned forward in their seats, holding their breath without realizing it. And then, movement. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just a quiet ripple that spread like wildfire. Heads turned, murmurs grew, phones rose into the air. The sound began low, almost respectful, then exploded. Shohei Ohtani had arrived. The roar wasn't just loud. It was emotional, raw, as if years of hope, pressure, and pride were released all at once. People cried. Grown adults, hardened by life, wiped their eyes without shame. Ohtani didn't raise his arms. He didn't play to the crowd. He simply nodded. Calm, focused, almost serene, like a warrior stepping onto a battlefield he had already conquered in his mind. That calm made it even more terrifying, for everyone else. In that moment, the Vantelin Dome stopped being a stadium. It became a symbol, a place where belief met reality. Where dreams stood, face to face with destiny. Teammates straightened their backs, shoulders squared. This was no longer just a game. This was a statement to the world. Across the ocean, fans stayed up through the night. Screens glowing in dark rooms. Because when Shohei Ohtani moves, borders disappear. Time zones collapse. Every pitch he warmed up with felt heavier. Every swing echoed with meaning. Even before the game began, the atmosphere had already shifted. Commentators struggled to find words. How do you describe a moment like this? How do you explain the electricity of one man altering the emotional climate of an entire tournament? You don't. You feel it. This wasn't just about winning. This was about legacy. About proving that baseball can still create moments so powerful they silence cynicism and reignite wonder. As the lights burned bright and the crowd settled into an uneasy hush, one truth became undeniable. If Shohei Ohtani joins again from Nagoya, the stadium doesn't just get loud. It becomes history in motion. And long after the final out, long after the cheers fade and the lights go dark, people will remember this moment. Not as a rumor, not as a headline, but as the day the world held its breath, and Shohei Ohtani walked in.